CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
Dorian wakes up and immediately takes a swing at whoever's closest.
Today, I want the truth.
I mean, I'm not doing this for any particular ideology or anything. This is a job.
Am I okay with lying to Belladonna?
But I have a really important question for you, Cole.
Yes.
What's your middle name?
Laren, with all respect, I think it's, with how difficult that last mission was, I don't think I can rest until we get the job done, period. But I will try my best. That's all I can promise.
Real quick, Cole, do your moms leave?
I don't know. Do you think they leave?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
No. Now we have to save the city. Dorian's mom's hanging the balance.
I think Dorian, that like they told you they would leave when you left that conversation, and then later, like that evening, you get like a text message or like a group chat message or something, and they're just like, we actually found like a really cute hotel or Airbnb in the city, so we're gonna stay for a few days.
What if it's like the next morning they're still posting like Facebook updates of them fucking around in CalazCon?
Oh my god.
No, I think they'd communicate with Dorian. I think they have a good relationship with Dorian, right?
Yeah.
I want to play them as some people who are genuinely communicative and open and like caring for Dorian, just to contrast the stuff that Dorian's going to do to themselves.
Yeah. I think when Dorian gets that message, they're looking through scrap parts with a split second trying to figure out what to build. Here's the ping go off on the phone, looks at the message, and just yells, "Fuck!" and throws their phone.
Phenomenal. So that brings us to Laren, right?
Yeah. So what is our big reveal?
I think this is that next day as well, right? Like at this point, it's probably been maybe 2 days or something since they first got there, right? Do we have any names for anybody on the delivery team yet?
We do not.
Okay. Well, especially if they're going to be showing up, Alex in
that makes sense.
Blue Skies, session. I'm going to need probably some names.
Yeah. How many do we want?
So you're a tier 2 squad, which means that you are supposed to be roughly 12 people total is roughly, what tier 2 is supposed to be. So the 4 of you, split second, Antonia, that gives you to 6. So they're probably around, at most 6, but probably more like 4, I would say. Somewhere in that range. But no huge rush on this. But regardless, you get a text message from one of them, right? Or like, probably not a text message, probably like a signal or some sort of encrypted app message, right? And what they send you is just an image of like a absolute massive arm cannon. Like not even Avi-sized arm cannon. There's nothing larger than large Avis in this setting, right?
We're looking at a Megazord, yeah.
We're looking at a Megazord, right? Like putting several Avis together. Like this is an arm the size of an Avi, right? Maybe even bigger than that. It is absolutely gigantic, right? I showed you. In fact, I can just go ahead and...
It's just the size of the building. Okay.
It's the size of the blue section.
Oh my god.
Back.
Okay.
And then the size going horizontally, right? So that's the width, is the size from this blue section here to like the edge of the building here, which is easily like, I don't know, 60 feet, 80 feet wide. And then as long as this building is, which is significantly longer than that.
Yeah.
Right? Each one of these is a floor that's like, what, 100, maybe 150 feet, something like that. It is absolutely massive. So that's the scale that we're talking about. And like, you get that, and then you get a text. Do you have one name? Who's this one person who sent you
I
this?
have 4 names.
Okay.
I have Perry, who is the lieutenant in charge. I have Azine.
Okay.
I have Markle, and I have Olive.
Okay, like it. This is definitely Perry, the lieutenant, right?
Yeah.
He, him for Perry?
Yes.
Okay. So Perry sends you this, and then Perry sends a text message and says, they're not even really hiding it. And another text message saying, they say it's for cosplay. With like doubting face emoji. And so what you have found here is a massive weapon, but notably, it's also just an arm.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
This is one piece of something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think Laren is just going to text back, very wryly, what are they, cosplaying a building?
And it's just Perry going, everybody gets shifty when I ask too much. Can't push too much or they get suspicious. We'll report back.
All right.
But, you know, to step out of character a second, at this Jacobs Junker Supply Depot, they were building a massive arm, bigger than an Audi, significantly bigger than a large Audi, for question mark purposes. But, like, this is one of the Jacobs Junker Supply Depots, right?
Yeah.
There are others in this city. And if you had several of these, and, like, you shot them all at once, yeah, you could take out, like, a district of the city, you bet.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you finish the 8, you have a definitive, like, they are doing a thing here. But you don't have the full picture yet. I think it'd be an additional 8 step to, like, what are the other pieces of this? Does that make sense? Like, when you put this together, what is it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to give you one other thing here, though, because, you know, I said that you'd get the step into the truth here. I think Perry sends all of that, and this is, like, in the early morning or something like that. And then not even 30 minutes later, Perry texts back a, like, surreptitiously taken photo, and it's of Empress Gold. And he says, the early birds are involved, too.
Yeah, they probably all are.
You shouldn't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I think Laren gives a command that just keep doing the job, you know, run down the clock, and come back.
Cool.
You know, mission accomplished.
Does Laren ask Dorian if they recognize that arm from any of the episodes?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's brought Dorian in yet, but he might at a future moment.
Okay. The one thing I'm going to say, I'm going to give you the opportunity here, Alex.
Yes.
If you have them stay there, there is the possibility that they will get harm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have them stay there, if there's a fight here, then they could get hurt.
Yeah.
So you could pull them back now, but I think the effect of pulling them back now is you'd lose a status with Jacob's Junkers.
No, I think the goal is to not arouse suspicion, and so to, you know, like, get to the end of the,
right.
You know, like, the, you know, like, whatever the terms were for how long we were doing this.
Yeah.
And then just naturally come back.
Right. You still have your downtime activity, though. That was just the result of your last downtime activity.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I am going to be doing another long-term project.
Okay.
The question is what exactly I want to do to execute this long-term project.
Totally.
And really this is coming down to, do I want to swing for the fences or not on putting the pieces together?
Right.
The really easy way to do this would to just be to send somebody to go investigate the other warehouses. And that'd be really easy and simple.
Right.
But I think the real juice is to try and get in touch with Tempestia.
Oh my god.
Oh my, yes.
Yeah.
Love to hear that.
I know it was an acquire asset for just the previous mission, but would Laren still be able to, for the purposes of setting this up, use that comm link to, like that little, the comms that they had broken into, would he be able to use that to get in touch with Tempestia?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Then in that case, I think leading up to this role, obviously this isn't the role itself, but he is essentially just going to fly around in the hummingbird until he starts he gets close enough to hear people talking on the comms. And then he is just going to say, Tempestia, we need to finish our talk.
So this actually takes a while. I think we mentioned that you got that last bit of information fairly early in the morning, maybe mid-morning. And, you get the hummingbird all suited up, you fly out, you're doing these sort of patrol runs. And I think it's hours to the point where, if not Laren, at least some of your crew start thinking, maybe she's no longer in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she just went back from the front lines, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Laren knows better, even at this point. It's when you actually think, hey, the Noontide Squall can be an upper atmosphere, right?
Oh, shit, it can, yeah.
And you say, have us gain height. Get us as high as we can go. And it's then that you pick up the signal. So this is us looking over Hestial at a higher height than we've ever been. The camera looking down on this city, and you can see well beyond where the CalazCon map is, right? You can see how the city sprawls beyond this. And the part of the city we focus on is the core of the city that is mostly still working. Obviously, people have been removed from their homes, and CalazCon has put up these massive things that were not there originally. But it looks like a city still there. But further out, it's a battlefield. There are, whole chunks of the city that are razed functionally. They're just burnt. It's black earth. And you can see as you're high up now, there's active firefights happening outside of Hestial. You are one front on this planet-sized war. You're an important front, but you are one front. And it's here, with that as the backdrop, that you say that. And it's here, with that as the backdrop, that Tempestia responds. And she says, I don't think I ever got your name.
The name's Laren.
Pleasure to meet you, Laren. You have questions.
Actually, I think I might also have answers.
You can hear the smile in her voice. And she says, I knew I was right to talk to you.
Well, I'll get straight to the point. You were half right.
Oh?
The DFS isn't looking to destroy the city. Well, I mean, not beyond all the normal ways that a war destroys a city. It's just CalazCon working on this. Did a little bit of digging after what you said. We've started finding a major project that they're all working on. Whatever it is, will probably wipe us both off the map.
That is in line with what I've seen.
But alright, here's my suggestion. I'm not suggesting we're friends, we're not allies. But we need to trade information. Everything we know about this one thing. And, well, it's in multiple pieces. If you don't show up in front of me at the same spot, I don't have to fight you.
There was a time that I worked with zero accountability before. I ended up with a knife in my back, Laren.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised I'm not ending up with one in mine. After everything that, we've pulled off here the last couple of months. I'd expect one. Look, This is why I'm suggesting we're not friends. We're not working together. We're working in parallel. As long as we make sure that we don't get in each other's way, we don't ever run into each other, everything works out fine.
I think this is the role. To me, this sounds like you are trying to consort with Tempestia.
All right.
So the Hummingbird crew is loyal to you, right?
Yes, I would say so.
But here's the thing, Alex. If this word gets out, you're court-martialed, right? Like, at best.
Mm-hmm.
I think this isn't a fortune roll.
Okay.
I think this is going to start at risky standard consort. What I'm doing here mechanically to justify this is I'm going to use one of Tempestia's rival moves. And I'm going to force you to take this as a non-fortune roll, as an actual action roll.
Okay.
What do you do?
See, so if I push myself, it would be 2 dice.
That's right.
But I would not have any stress left over for when this goes bad.
Huh?
Scar.
Oh, this would be such a narratively weird moment to get a scar.
I don't know about that.
It makes sense.
It could be interesting.
Laren, I don't know if you noticed that you've been doing this, Alex, but Laren is being an active agent.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
That is not Mem saying, hey, we need to look into this. It's definitely not Mem saying, hey, we need to talk to Tempestia. This is all Laren.
That is
Actually,
true.
speaking of which, how is Mem reacting to this?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh.
I feel like you had to have talked about this ahead of time. Like, if nothing else, she
Probably,
knew you were
yeah.
out here looking for Tempestia.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something he would have had to clear with her to some level.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Memo cares primarily about Laren, not about the DFS.
But would she be worried about what Laren is doing? Because if the DFS catch on to this, wouldn't they essentially try to either A, arrest Laren, or B, court-martial him? And then have an unfortunate accident happen if he's trying to do something traitorous?
So, here's the thing. Laren has been sort of hiding the importance of Mem for a long time, right?
He has, yeah.
And I think from Mem's perspective, Mem thinks about this as Laren protecting her from the DFS, who would not let her, a proxy, live the way she does. And so I think from Mem's perspective, and maybe she even said this to Laren, right? You've been protecting me for years. I'm going to do my best to protect you. The DFS isn't going to hear about this. And maybe that's news to Laren that she even thinks that way.
I mean, I think he certainly would believe that she is capable of thinking that way. Absolutely.
Of course.
I don't know. Maybe we should just be, backing up and actually having that scene.
Sure.
I don't know if we want to take care of this role first before we do that, or with the potential narrative irony of knowing what's going to happen 5 minutes later, or...
Well, there's this very interesting thing that's happening here, which is, how much stress are you at?
6.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alex, it sure sounds like a flashback might be happening.
Ooh, okay.
And it costs exactly 3 stress.
Well, no, but what it does do is, I think it's a 1 stress flashback.
Puts you in push yourselves territory.
Yeah,
Well,
and if you do push yourself on this roll,
stress out at 9. I stress out when
no,
I go
you stress out
over.
at 10 now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can pay me the 1 flashback, and I'll tell you what. You pay me the 1 flashback. You roll a 1d6 fortune roll for the consort, and let's see how this conversation goes. And if it goes well, then I'll give you a bonus on the roll. Sounds good? An additional bonus.
I don't entirely know how this is working, but it sounds good.
Yeah, no, it's very good for you.
Yeah. Okay, so am I doing a second roll to see how well it goes with Mem, or are
Correct. So
Okay.
give me the fortune roll, and this is going to color this scene. I don't want to have a super
Sure.
lengthy thing, but let's just see how how this goes. 1d6.
Oh,
That's a
wow.
6.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
So, with that being said, Mem just said that to you. Mem just said that I'm going to protect you. The DFS are not going to hear about this. What does Laren say? How do we get to a 6 on this roll?
Are you sure, Mem? I know that we might be throwing a lot away here. Everything I've been doing here, it's been for you, Mem. You don't get an eighth of the respect that you deserve. And that was the point of all this, wasn't it? If we could bag a living legend like Tempestia, you could bag a living legend like Tempestia. Well, the world would have to take you seriously, wouldn't it?
You're right. But I intend to be alive for a long time, Laren. And if I end up doing something I'm going to regret, if we end up doing something that we're going to regret, I'm going to have a long time to regret it. Let's make sure we do this thing right.
That's what I needed to hear, Mem.
She gives a little salute, mostly joking.
Whatever happens, we're in this together. And besides, Memo, the hero that took down an RV the size of a city, might be an even bigger accomplishment.
We'll see. Okay. Flash forward. I'll tell you what, you got a 6 here. I'm going to treat that as you getting 2 benefits. I'm not going to let you take both of those as dice,
Sure.
but you could use them for great effect or to go from a risky down to a controlled.
I think, based on what Mem has been talking about, going from risky to controlled makes a lot of sense.
Agreed.
And then the bonus die.
Yeah. So without pushing yourself, you're now at 2d6 controlled standard.
And dare I even ask what a collateral die looks like in this situation?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
oh,
of
fuck, I
course
should have
you
asked
do.
one earlier. Oh, well.
That's all right. Yeah, in this situation...
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized. Does Warlord matter here?
Oh, sure. Yeah. You can have.
Does
you can
that
have
move it to
you can get
great?
Controlled great. Yeah. Controlled great at convincing Tempestia.
Oh.
Regardless if this works or not, Tempestia is going to demand that Sycorax be released. If she's going to do this, she's going to need all the help she can get.
Ooh.
Let me even make this a little bit easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do it. Arrange a prisoner transport. She'll rescue Sycorax. You don't even need to give up Haravi.
Yeah, I think Laren will take that.
Phenomenal. That sounds to me like you're at 3 dice before you even push yourself.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to do so, because this needs to go right.
All right, give me a 46 controlled great. You sitting at 9 stress. For anybody listening, it is only because they have the squad ability. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have anything. I think it's just like 9. If you meet it, it's fine. It's when you go over, right?
No, normally it's when you need
get
it.
9.
No, it's when
normally
you
get
fill it.
9.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I thought maybe you had that thing that would let you get the extra thing. I don't think that's true. Do you still want to push
No.
yourself?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So give me a 3d6 controlled great. You're sitting at 7 stress. Oh my god.
Of course.
Whoa,
So that's a
buddy.
fail. That's a fail. The best is a 3. If only you pushed yourself, it probably would have been a good one there. So here's what happens. Nobody learns about this meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. Tempestia agrees. And you arrange the prisoner transport, and you're not caught. This all goes perfectly. Tempestia has agreed to target different targets than you. As long as you keep up your end of the bargain, go after things. So that all works. But it's in the working of it that we get our controlled consequence. And it's just a controlled consequence. I told you at the beginning of this session, right, that the Jovangelian media, the airwaves, were full of, like, anti-pizza, anti-zero accountability
Mm-hmm.
propaganda, right? All at once, that stops.
Oh.
As if some Jovangelian higher-up, some sort of war hero maybe, suddenly told the people in power in Jovangel, actually zero accountability is okay. Nobody learns about this meeting. Nobody learns that you allowed a prisoner to be taken by the enemy. But what they do know is that zero accountability might be compromised. I don't think you can resist that, because you got exactly what you wanted here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, my text in the chat still stands here.
That's your text in the chat? Hold on.
New briefing for next mission. For Dorian, Azara, and Topo. Kill Laren and make it look like an accident.
No, but nobody knows it's Laren, right? Like,
That's
Azara is maybe the one person who could be like, I wonder.
That's an unfortunate coincidence, isn't it?
It sure is, buddy. Anyway. So that's also a fail. Remember what this scene was? This was a long-term project.
Oh, God.
So we're no closer to actually figuring anything out.
No, I'm going to respect that it is a long-term project. I'll give you a tick in this. Is this new long-term project just like, find out what that big arm goes to?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Goes to Voltron.
Okay. Probably fine. I'm sure Red won't notice.
That's
Oh my
fine.
God.
Incredible. This rules. This rules. Okay. Hey, Azara, we got one more free downtime activity, and it's you.
Well, cutting away from that, I was reading through the book, and I realized I was looking through scars because I was curious. And if I don't take a cut loose, I gain a stress because I have a scar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna cut loose. The interesting thing, and again, I guess shout out John Harper for creating this system, is that I have the perfect amount of stress where I'm hesitant about cutting loose because I have five. I have 5 stress, and I could roll a 6 and overindulge, but we'll see how that goes.
Do you have somebody who you only have? Yeah, you have Laren.
I do have Laren.
You have that's the one dice, right? You want it to be a lower value if possible.
That's true. I only have one with Dorian too.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you had more than one. Oh, okay. So yeah, Dorian or Laren you could hang out with.
Before that last scene, I was gonna do this with Dorian, and I think we can still do the thing we were gonna do with Dorian later. I do think cutting loose with Laren is appropriate here now. What is Laren's like favorite type of food? I swear to God, if you say pizza.
No, I think he's a BBQ guy.
Ooh, okay. I'm imagining you like in your corkboard room, and I'd knock on the door and say, "Hey, Captain, do you want to go get some barbecue? I heard from a little bird that it's your favorite, and I'm really sick of eating our bad pizza."
Yeah, sure. Ma'am, if you could tidy up all the files here, I'm going to be stepping out for an hour or two.
You got it.
I can't hold it. In that case, I think we like go to like a barbecue place, maybe a couple blocks away.
All right.
What's this place name? Just real quick, what's this place name?
Smoking the Smoke Shack.
That's incredible. There's literally a smoke shack, a restaurant called the Smoke Shack that was like on the way to my husband's grandma's place.
Oh,
back
really?
in the South. Yeah. What if this is like a weirdly more upscale? It's like, you probably wouldn't have brought Laren there. I was going to suggest what if it was called the Smoke Shack, but it was spelled like SHAQUE?
Oh, that's really, I think that's really good. I like that a lot, actually.
Okay.
I think Azar like went on our equivalent of Google and typed in barbecue restaurant, and there was one called the Smoke Shack spelled normally that had like 2 stars, and the Smoke Shack spelled fancy that had like 4.5, and he's like, all right,
yeah, that's the one.
probably go there. Yeah,
incredible. You head there. You get inside. I think it is like. I know that some of us are from the South, or like have been to the American Southeast. But like a real barbecue place often like has no AC, has like plastic menus, right? Because of how gross everything gets. Just has like, you know the vibe. There is some woman as the waitress who like calls you honey or dear, right?
That's why I don't trust the 4-5.
That's what I mean. Yeah, this is like, it's a little bit too upscale. So like the mac and cheese has like some fancy herb in it that is actually not very good.
Yeah, so I think that it's like someone saw that and then was like, well, what if I spent 10 times as much to try to replicate this experience?
You're right.
And so everything is that, but like a little bit ritzy and fake.
Right. And then charge cosplayers like,
oh yeah,
quadruple to 10 times the amount that it normally costs.
Okay, so yeah, you get in, you sit down. Some lady with her hair like taller than you think a human's hair should be able to be comes and takes your order while like popping bubblegum.
Captain, what happened?
What do you mean, what happened?
Come on.
There are a lot of things happening right now, Zara. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific.
I have to assume, based on who I know you to be, that you continue looking for answers to what that big whatever's going on at Jacob's Junkers.
I guess at this point, Azara would know about all the stuff we found out in the last cycle, right? So, like, Azara would already know about the big arm.
Azara knows about the big arm, I think.
Yeah. In that case, it feels like too much. I don't really believe in coincidences, and all of the Jovangelian propaganda about us stopped. Was that you?
Is this pause here real?
This pause is me checking my beliefs with Azara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Give me your beliefs, both of you, with each other.
So Laren has 2 beliefs with Azara.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, Azara's useful, but this isn't their fight. I need to find a way to get them bought in.
Uh-huh.
And the second one is, Azara seems directionless. I could give him that direction.
Uh-huh, and Azara?
My belief about Laren is that I have to keep an eye on him. I know his secret.
Uh-huh. It's funny, when you wrote that, we thought it was a different secret.
You know? Look, I'm not... Don't lie to me.
Look, you saw... You probably got to see it with your own eyes. That warehouse.
Yeah.
Something like that gets finished. We're gonna have way bigger problems than anything we've been fighting so far. It is prudent, Azara, to tackle this problem as quickly, efficiently, and forcefully as possible. We're talking about something that could level the city in minutes. And I don't want to see that thing. Whatever it is, whatever that giant-ass arm belongs to, I do not want to see that thing finished.
You don't think it was... You don't think it's a good idea to tell anybody else about this? Like, it feels like you're just sort of working on this on your own. Like, I certainly don't want that to happen. They probably don't. Dorian and Topo probably don't. I bet Antonia probably wouldn't.
You're right, Azara. There, and I am going to tell everyone. But I think I wanted to make sure that I had all the details lined up before I started talking about it. Still a lot to dig into here, but you're right. The whole squad should know about this, whatever this thing is. I mean, I assume it's a giant Avi.
Who else knows? Obviously, Jacob's Junker, like all the CalazCon folks know, but like who else knows?
Us? I mean, I assume Tempestia knows, at least a little bit. She's the one that got us on this road to begin with.
What?
Yeah, remember? I mentioned that. She let something slip. The last mission that we were on.
And you trust her?
No. Look, Zara, I don't actually think that Tempestia is that bad of a person. My work here is not personal. But let me trade you a different question. If somebody murdered your best friend, would you ever be able to forgive him?
Hey, Jake. What was the name of Azara's best friend who died in Sebriel's attack?
Oh, great. They just went by Welsh. No, I don't think I could.
Well, in that last battle, Viridian V just died. She's been working with Tempestia longer than most of the people in this squad have been alive. It's not necessarily that I don't trust Tempestia, Zara. Rather, it's that I trust that one of these days, she will come for us and try to get that revenge.
I don't know what your plan is, and frankly, you don't have to. In terms of commanding officer, you don't have to answer to me. But Topo, they'll be fine. Topo's got it under control. If Dorian's gonna keep throwing himself in front of bullets to be a hero, he should at least know what's going on. And as far as trusting a friend, everybody has a best friend, and we're in this war. There's a lot of that going back and forth. Where does it end? I guess. But if you believe strongly in this, I think we care enough about you not to let this blow up in your face, and leave the strategy to you and Mem.
I think this is the roll.
Yeah.
Give me a 1d6 for Azara. God, if this is a 6, imagine.
I imagine.
It's pretty close.
That's perfect.
It is exactly what Azara needed.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I
Fully cleared.
The conversation itself got so tense, I completely even forgot that was on the table.
Huh?
Imagine if I rolled in another encounter and we'd have to, or another entanglement, we'd have to re-roll. God.
Oh my god.
Scramble.
I would love that, honestly. That'd be great. Hey, no stress.
No stress. Fully cleared.
Everything's fine.
There might be more to this conversation, it
Yeah.
might go on longer, but I think the end state here, right, is that, Azara knows about what's up, fully knows, doesn't just suspect, fully knows, and is, gonna protect Laren and Mem still.
Yeah.
Is there any other scenes at the smoke shack?
I'm curious to what Laren. Well, I'm curious to what each of us would order at this smoke shack.
Please give me that real quick. That's important. This is integral. Thank you, Jake.
Wait, just all of us in the squad, period?
No, just you two. Hey, if
I was
other
gonna
people
say.
go to the smoke shack.
I think Azara one time saw a documentary about how bad meat is for the environment. Maybe saw this the night before, or this restaurant was in the documentary or something, or a barbecue restaurant was.
Yeah.
And so when he got there, he was like, "Oh, I'll get the Impossible Burger, or whatever." But it's terrible.
I think, even though Laren is the one being taken out as the commanding officer, he's going to get burnt ends for the table.
Okay, nice.
Which Azara can touch or not, depending on how they feel about meat. And then he's going to get a BBQ brisket burger.
Oh yeah. The BBQ brisket, you look at it at first and you're like, this is going to be bad. There's no way. This doesn't look like a good BBQ brisket. There's little flecks in it or something. You don't even know what those are. And then the worst part of it, as these cosplayers come in, as the evening rush comes in, it's really good. It's a really good sandwich.
Damn. All right.
Maybe gentrification's good, actually.
I think this might figure in sooner than you think.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, gang. That is the end of the free downtime activities, but wouldn't you know it, you all are sitting on 5 materiel and 6 personnel. So you have a lot of wiggle room here, and you can always collect as well for some additional.
I think Topo would like to start a long-term project.
Okay. What's that?
I want to find out why all these people from my past are showing up here.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Seems like a little bit too much to be a coincidence.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
curious.
That's a 4-step long-term project.
I'll take that.
Put that in your long-term projects as just, what's up with all my old friends being here or equivalent. Old friends? Question mark.
Is everyone I know showing up here?
Perfect. So you get a free tick in that, so go ahead and mark that once.
Oh, sweet.
This is from Analyst. You guys still haven't used that this downtime yet, and this is definitely investigation.
Yeah.
And what's the action that Topo takes to, try to figure this out?
I think...
I mean, to me, this sounds like if I, a non-Topo, was going to figure this out, I would just talk to my friends. And be really interested in me if that is not what Topo does. If Topo's like, all my friends are showing up. You know what thing I shouldn't do?
I feel like Topo's going to creep around and... Perfect. See where they come and go, see if they talk to anyone I don't recognize or that I do recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Topo's going to be a little bit more of a creep about it.
So it's both Bank and Barrett that you're following around?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this is, if it's creeping, you don't want them to see you, that's a prowl.
Yeah, feels like prowl.
Okay. Love this for you. Love Topo. Topo begins prowling after their friends.
Can I push myself on this one?
So this is, by default, this is just a fortune roll, which means that there's no consequences. I will let you push yourself, but you will introduce consequences.
Ooh, yeah, I think I'll just take the fortune roll.
Sure.
Does Topo ask for help at all? Because maybe Dorian walks around and starts going, oh, yeah. They're I recognize this guy from a meetup. This guy actually ran the safety training for this.
Yeah, would Topo ask?
Great. Yeah, Topo would definitely ask.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
We're on a squad, yeah. I think I'd ask Azara.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
Stealth buddies.
Why don't we just talk to them, Topo?
if I don't want to tip them off if there's something going on.
Okay. In that case, give me a 2d6 for Topo.
2d6, here we go. One up.
Oh my god.
Let's
crit.
go.
That is a crit. There we go.
Sneakiest guys around.
Okay.
Sneak buddies.
So, you two sneaking around. You recognize that Bank and Barrett are actually here for 2 different reasons. So, Barrett, right, is a mercenary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you specifically told me, Mark, last time, that, Barrett was, congratulatory about Topo getting a steady gig.
Yeah.
CalazCon is Barrett's steady gig.
Mm.
So Barrett has been hired by the Early Birds as a mercenary on retainer. Unsurprisingly, in Calazar, the anime series, there's a whole bunch of mercenaries. I don't know if you knew this. Dorian did.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so they have a whole bunch of people wanting to cosplay as mercenaries and do things I don't know, go down into a sewer system and have live fire fights. And you know who's good at that and ensuring that the minimal harm happens? An actual mercenary.
There you go.
So that's the reason Barrett is here. The fact that you are here is that really you were brought here for the same purpose, really, which is that CalazCon is here, right?
Right.
So that one you can sort of check off as being okay, yeah, that makes sense. There's nothing untoward there. Bank is interesting because you follow him around and you start to realize Bank is also prowling. But Bank has 0 in prowl. And I don't know what it is that you see. I'm going to tell you what is happening, and then you, Mark, tell me what Topo sees to cue them in on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you realize that Bank is on the trail of the person who did this to you.
Oh. maybe I see him meeting with someone he's getting information from, he's bought information from, or someone associated with CalazCon, like that's why he's here specifically.
I'll do you one better. You see him meeting with someone who you remember from when you were strapped down to, like, an operating table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, not a head scientist or anything, but like a nurse or assistant, basically.
Right.
And Bank is playing it buddy-buddy, and it's good enough to fool this person, who also doesn't recognize Bank.
Right.
But Bank also has zero in sway. And Topo can tell. Right? Topo and Azara there together can tell. Bank is tailing this person, trying to get to the person above them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How does Topo react to learning this?
I think just immediately switches tracks and be like, cool, that is now the person I'm following forever.
Okay.
Azara, are you with me here?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
So you got 5 ticks because you got a crit on a clock, on a project that you only needed 3 more ticks in. So I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to let you move those 2 ticks over into a new long-term project clock.
Fantastic.
This is going to be the 8-step clock. Find the person who did this to us.
Awesome.
And you already have 2 ticks in it. Okay. Let's pause on that. We might get more. I suspect we'll get more on that in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get some other people getting some round 2 activities in.
Yeah. I got something.
Yeah, what you got?
Doran's going to do the exact opposite of chill. I'm going to go collect.
Oh my god.
Listen, I went to go look at the rules for getting a replacement Avi, and it's either I buy it or I steal it through a long-term project or I make it myself and it'll be unfamiliar.
Uh-huh.
We do have the Screech Owl.
You have enough parts here, and like, I think you still have the frame. So we've talked about this a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
The new Avi, whatever that looks like, is still going to look something like Our Lady of Mutes, right?
Yeah.
And so I think what happens here is that the level 3 damage is disintegrated, yes. But I think that, like, the, like, underlying frame of the thing, it was mostly intact. And so the easiest thing to do is actually going to be to build back on top of that frame. Does that make sense?
It does. And that's kind of why I'm thinking Dorian's first thought process before he goes and says, hey, who wants to help me build my Avi back with all the parts we got laying around, is there might be some parts we're missing and we need to get some more money involved.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love to go and literally rob around the Praxian Plaza.
I'm sorry, you're gonna just rob people?
Well, like, more burgle, more like sneak around, stealing, stuff is falling off the trucks a lot, weirdly enough.
Okay, hold on. Is that stuff is falling off the trucks, or stuff is falling off the trucks, wink?
The latter.
Okay.
Sure was a shame about that delivery driver, huh? Wink.
I was going to say, you don't have to take this suggestion, but we are currently in the middle of guarding a facility that a lot of trucks go through.
That's another facility I was thinking of. And where is that facility again?
Well, wouldn't you know it that it's on the outskirts of Praxian Plaza?
Damn. Exactly where I was thinking of going, because I'm like, yeah, Jacob's Junkers, man, they really like us.
I think
a shame some of their stuff went missing.
Laren thinks that Dorian continuing his earlier conversation with light duty, if Dorian asked him to spend some time with the delivery team being fake guards, he would think, perfect, 100%. This is the perfect way to make sure that Dorian stays out of trouble.
I love this idea.
Okay.
He would enthusiastically allow this.
I would love to do a crime.
While your moms are still in town.
I feel like these moms would be fine with crime. There's a certain kind of Southern mother. Anyway. Dorian, give me a 3d6. Let's see how this goes. That's Praxian Plaza's crime rating.
Yeah.
Sorry, not crime rating. I want to grab their wealth rating.
It's also 3.
Oh, is it also 3? Wouldn't you look at that? Yeah. Give me a 3d6.
Yeah. There's a 6.
There's also
but
a
I did
1,
roll a
buddy.
1. There is a 1 in there.
Yep.
So, this is fascinating. Gain the supply points and immediately roll an entanglement determined by your relationship, with the faction that controls the region. Your faction that controls the region is CalazCon, who likes you. So we're rolling on table C, not table A. So this is fine.
This is fine.
This is fine. Yeah. Give me a 2d6, Dorian. And we'll figure out where the supply from that 6 goes in a minute.
Yeah.
Once we
2d6 and a 6.
Brass holes. Your superiors issue mission objectives that don't make sense to their squad. The squad takes -1d on their next engagement roll. Additionally, roll 1d to determine the tactic for the next mission. Now this is interesting. You all don't get to necessarily pick your tactic. But, this is fantastic, because you may not have a choice. Oh, okay. This is great. Dorian, give me a 1d6.
I get to roll all the dice right now.
Yeah. Congrats. That's a 4.
That's
so you
4.
must use a transport. Or you take a -1 relationship with the faction that assigned the mission.
Sure,
Wow.
we can transport that bomb straight into the Jacob Junker's warehouse. We'd be happy to do that.
There you go.
The other part of it being brass holes is that Antonia Pi is going to give you mission objectives that don't make sense to the squad. And I think that what we see here as players and as audience is in this moment while this is happening. Dorian, what do you do? What do you do that gets seen by somebody it shouldn't be? Let me be specific.
Oh, God. It's just... Dorian Scribbles is working as extra security for a little while, notices the requisition forms.
Right.
Takes a few of them, looks at a few copies of signatures, and just copies a couple signatures, says, I need this weapon, I need these gears, and I need this all loaded into a truck, and then takes that truck out. And they're like, that rookie ain't supposed to be driving that truck.
Yeah.
They're a guard.
Yeah. So what happens here, right, is you drive that truck back to Pizza HQ, right? You take the secret entrance in the back to get to the underneath section of the pizza restaurant with this giant truck full of stuff. And the truck on it says Jacob's Junkers Limited, right?
Mm-hmm.
God.
And Antonia, in her office overlooking the Avi Bay, where you have to drive this thing because there's no room for it elsewhere, sees you do this and sees you unload this stuff and then leave with the truck, and also looks at her intel reports about suddenly the Jovangelians no longer bad-mouthing zero accountability on the airwaves.
Oh, God.
And looks at her cork board that says Jacob's Junkers Limited, ? Tempestia, ? And she now says, are they compromised? And this is why you both working in parallel without telling each other is a bad idea. But anyway...
But hey, I got a 6 supply.
Yeah, you got great. You did great, buddy. This is only a good thing.
I helped the squad.
And I helped. Okay, you get... Is it just straight up? Yeah, so it's just straight up 6 supply points. Right now you're at 5 material, 5 personnel. Do you just want to split that evenly, or what do you want to do with that?
I would like to put maybe 4 in personnel, 2 in material, just because I do want to work on a long-term project, and I want to make sure I have an Avi by the next mission, or something I can use to take down Avis.
Yeah. Don't worry, you can make an Avi. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that you are now sitting at 9 personnel and 7 material. Very well done. and all it cost was the trust of your direct superior.
Uh-oh.
It's okay.
Hey.
She doesn't think you're 100% compromised. She just thinks you might be. And the amazing bit here is she's looking at the wrong person.
Amazing.
Dorian doesn't know shit. She had a 50-50 shot of looking at somebody who actually knew something in this squad. Anyway.
Amazing.
So, Topo and Dorian, we've gotten them taking extra actions here. Who else has a thing?
So you said that only half the squad knows something.
Oh, God.
Laren would like to cut loose.
With?
Specifically, I think the cut loose is going to be with Dorian. But
Okay.
the flavor of this is that Laren wants to throw a, congrats on getting well party.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All staff in attendance, like the
Mhm.
big, Dorian comes down the ramp and everybody's applauding and all that.
Right.
Catered by Smoke Shack.
Right.
Ooh.
We shoot off those streamer things that you pop off, and it gives Dorian
Mhm.
Trauma
reaches for his gun.
response? God. Yeah, probably a bad idea for bangs in the middle of a military base.
Actually, that said, Laren does want to have this off base.
Sure. Yeah, totally. Wait, hold on. Cole, is this real? Dorian has now decided to be a giant killer? I don't think
No.
Okay, yeah, because you can't be that.
In
Out of
spirit.
character, I really, really was looking for ways to make it work. I was trying to figure out what
Sure.
fine heavy weapon I can use to float around. If I get to
Right.
the tuner, I get a fine mobility suite.
Wasn't that basically, kind of the wielder?
That's what I was thinking of too. But I was like, I don't have a background for this. There's no reason for me to pick up wielder yet until I get that ability.
Okay, so is this at Smoke Shack, or is it catered by Smoke Shack, held somewhere else? Do you rent a convention hall or something?
I think it is smaller than a convention hall. I guess it makes most sense to have it at Smoke Shack.
Okay, sure. So I think you can rent out the restaurant, right? That's
Sure.
You spend a personnel here. That's what the personnel spend is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You rent out Smoke Shack.
Yeah.
Okay. Now everybody can say what their order is or what they get from the big buffet or whatever.
I already know what Dorian gets, and I think
Please.
there's a dish there where you get mac and cheese with barbecue brisket, mixed in some jalapenos. Dorian doesn't get it with the jalapenos. There's some brisket in there, but he gets a double helping of the mac and cheese and just devours the whole thing.
Incredible. The mac and cheese is spicy.
Nice.
This is an important detail.
Good. That's my favorite way to have mac and cheese is spicy.
Topo?
Topo just has sides. Lots of potato salad. Lots of
Topo's such a
lots of rice and
weirdo.
beans.
I fucking love Topo.
It's all really good. But pours barbecue sauce all over him.
You get the fried pickles. You get the what's that bean soup that every barbecue place has?
Baked
It's just
beans?
baked beans, yeah.
It's not no, there's something else besides baked beans specifically. It's a very southeast southern thing. This is bad. I'm gonna lose all my cred. I can't go back to Atlanta after this.
We just call them beans here. And it's
Yeah,
kind
we
of
just
a
call them
city.
baked beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Luscious
thinking,
baked beans.
yeah, I'm just thinking about a barbecue chili, basically.
Yeah. Not that Topo's against eating meat, but the sides are the best part. So
Yeah,
I'm
obviously.
gonna get it while I can, unlimited.
Yeah, I think it's every third side is weird in a way you do not like, but the other 2/3 are really good.
Yeah.
What's weirdly sour?
I think I think the rolls, they have rolls that they make here, and they're weird, a little bit too sourdough rolls.
Yeah,
They should not be at all.
Yeah. They advertise that their rolls are baked in-house, and you're no, you shouldn't have.
Yeah, you should probably talk to someone else about that.
Yeah.
Our sourdough rolls they ferment for 46 hours, and it's you should
Probably
no.
shouldn't have
First
done
off,
that.
don't have sourdough rolls in the first place.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Does Laren get the same thing? Does Azara try something new?
Azara definitely tries something new.
Okay, good. What do you go for?
I think Azara goes for some ribs, but isn't super sure how to eat them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Laren was also gonna go for some ribs.
Phenomenal.
Nice.
I think, here's the thing, I think the ribs are vat grown.
Yeah.
And so there's no bone in there. And so that's why you can't figure out how to eat them.
Perfect.
There's like a bone there for like aesthetic purposes.
Yeah, but it's too brittle. Like, you go to hold it and it like breaks and you're like, well, I can't, what?
I still now I have to dig the other half out with a fork.
Oh, is the bone like kind of like a printed corn extrusion?
Yes. Yeah, it's like a 3D printed calcium bone.
Yeah.
It's like made out of the stuff they make fake
God.
teeth out of. It's awful.
Excellent.
But unfortunately, again, the rib meat is good. Like the vat grown meat, it's good. What is happening?
They can't keep getting away with this.
The combination smoke check dentistry office.
No, that's next door.
Oh.
Okay. That was the 2-star smoke shack. Okay, we need an actual roll here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we need to have an actual scene.
Yeah. Laren, what are your beliefs with Dorian? Just remind us real quick.
Dorian's a good kid and a better recruit, but he'll crack if I push him too hard. And Dorian would thrive in a more honest unit.
Yeah. So maybe this is like after everybody's gotten their food, so that whole bit made sense, right? Like everybody's split up into smaller groups. It's all, like dozen members of pizza are here. Antonia's here. Split Second's here. Nobody can see Split Second eating, but the food keeps on disappearing off their plate, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
You go up to Dorian, or Dorian goes up to you. What's this like?
Hey, boss, thanks for bringing us out to the nice lunch. How'd you know I like barbecue?
Oh, well, lucky guess, I guess.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm sure the rest of the squad appreciates it as well. Holds up a glass of non-descript cola to the delivery team.
CalazCon.
Yeah.
CalazCon, yeah!
I love it. I love it. Well, yeah.
Anyway, I'm just glad that you're back on your feet, mostly all back in one piece. It's quite a scare and all that, but we've already had this talk.
Yeah, I am trying to take it easy, but I'm trying to be of help where I can. And thank you for letting me find myself stationed in the security gig for a little bit. That
That's
helped
good.
Clear my head.
That's good. Say, sun isn't too murderous out there, is it?
Fortunately, get to take some breaks inside the warehouse, which is pretty nice, and get to walk around a bit, so helps out. But hey, they have like spring water in there? It's got like cucumbers and some lemon.
Sounds kind of bougie.
It's very bougie. Quite refreshing, though.
Ma'am, just look into cucumber water, whatever the hell that is.
And phone goes off. There's a photo from Dorian's mom's, and they're standing in front of a faux duel site.
Oh, they're still in town.
Yeah, it fucking terrifies me. They go to bed kind of early, though, so, as long as we're not in the broad daylight, it should be fine.
Well, that's, I'm sorry, I was thinking about my next line and already completely blanked out what Cole said. I'm sorry.
Laren, I don't actually care about that. Anyway.
Let's go back to talking about me. So I brought you out here because I want to commit treason.
And of course, now I have lost my train of thought after all of that and don't remember my next line.
It's okay. The conversation, I think the conversation goes on, right? Don't worry about following this on directly. There's little pleasantries here. And then, when the conversation seems to be reaching an end point, there's an opportunity for Laren to say something he wanted to say. What does he say then?
So, Dorian, you remember how I mentioned before. If you do ever want it, there is a spot on the Hummingbird for you.
I have been thinking about it, boss. And
obviously, this I've been thinking about what you said too. Obviously, yeah, need every pilot we can get right now. I understand that we're gonna need you on the front line. But after all this business with Hestial is over, can maybe be part of the crew. The offer's there.
All right. Yeah. After this job, we can go back and talk about it, and, I imagine piloting around a bird like that, sometimes you will need a pilot just to be there on backup in case you need a bit more protection or you need someone to take care of flying.
Yeah, well, we certainly got the space for it.
Yeah, I can do that for you, boss. Like, my mama Jarrett Dean always said, one job at a time. Speaking of,
Dorian, would you mind calling all the other pilots over here?
Yeah. Hey, y'all. Mm-hmm. And, you hear, a sharp whistle from Dorian. Team meeting pilot meeting real quick, looking at the rest of the teams that are all here. Pilot meeting real quick.
They'll squeeze into a 4-seater booth off in the corner.
I think once the group, has kind of seated themselves, Memo is going to more or less send an email to each pilot, detailing everything that they've found so far about all the Jacob Junker stuff we've been looking into.
Right.
And Lara's just gonna be all right, well, I was hoping to have a little bit more to report with before we had this talk, but there's something that I think the whole squad should be kept abreast of. Some sort of big project going on here at CalazCon. Obviously, we have our main orders, which are going to be whatever they're going to be. But as far as I'm concerned, this is priority number 1 right now. And he is just going to quickly lay out, this is what's going on about this giant arm. We need to look into this more. And we think, that there are other facilities to investigate. I think he would say that this all started because he got that tip from Tempestia, but he wouldn't say anything about his meeting up in the sky.
Right. So only Azara, kind of knows what happened there of the 4.
Mm-hmm. But, the investigation itself, he
yeah.
lays out everything that he knows so far.
Okay. How do Toko and Dorian react here?
How does this affect our other orders?
Officially, we are required to follow our orders, of course. Unofficially, I think that this takes priority above everything else. If this thing gets done, we're going to have way bigger problems than anything Tempestia could possibly cook up against us. This needs to be nipped in the bud.
Don't you think it might be a good idea to inform our superiors, since they can bring more resources to bear on it?
Yeah, I'm planning to send on everything we found to Red. That means it's going to end up going through Antonia sooner or later. But I also thought it was important that I sat down and made sure that all of you were also kept abreast of this.
I mean, boss, I get where you're coming from, but to me, this ain't our business. Our business is Tempestia.
Our
End of the
business.
Day. Well, we've all got our own little side projects, don't we?
Our business is staying alive, Dorian. This thing gets finished, it's wiping out half the army here. It needs to be dealt with.
Then wouldn't Red tell us to focus our attention to CalazCon, to the rest of the people running this business?
I don't know what they're thinking. I'm certainly going to be rattling the alarm bells, but there's no guarantee that they actually adjust focus.
Do you think they're in on it?
I was going to say, what if they know?
Well, I'm not sure. Probably not. A little bit of what we found when we were starting our initial inquiries. Mem, if you could point out section 2C of the notes. There are a lot of other inquiries in the DFS also chasing this project. Not sure how many people actually know about this. They could. They might not.
Alright, well, if our folks are on it, then doesn't that mean it's a project for us in the end? Again, I remember being told very specifically by Antonia, by Red, to focus on Tempestia. I'm pretty sure our past 2 mission briefings have been to engage Tempestia's squad. Hell, y'all 2 over there almost fucking drowned because we had to take down their base.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, none of that matters right now. We can get back to that later. Right now, we need to focus on this and make sure that half the DFS doesn't get blown up. Like I said, we're going to have our orders, and we're going to have to carry them out to the letter. I'm not saying we go AWOL or anything crazy like that. I'm saying, wherever we can, whatever we can manage between the lines, we start dealing with this problem.
What happens if our orders become directly in opposition with what you're talking about?
I really hope we don't have to cross that bridge, Azara.
I think that's where the roll happens.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Give me a 2d6, Laren.
Oof.
3.
That's about right. You only heal 3 stress from that.
Yep.
Yeah, that
leaving
felt
you
like
with
more
4.
stress than...
In consequence to the roll, Dorian asks, have you brought this up with Antonia?
Not yet, no.
Best way to know if our orders are in line with what you're saying is to ask.
You're not wrong, Dorian. I'll knock on her door when I get a chance.
Alright.
Okay, Laren needs a new Dorian belief.
Speaking of beliefs, can I read out my belief about Laren?
Always.
My new one?
Yes,
My new
please.
belief about Laren is that Laren does things unilaterally, but the consequences affect us all. I'll protect him despite my best judgment.
Whew, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's testable still. I wanted to speed run. I know there's a number of things that people have left. Let's speed run the end here, okay?
Oh boy.
Okay, so I think Dorian, there was a bunch from you, right? So let's get it done. Let's get her done.
Alright, quick and easy. Long-term project, building off. Start putting pieces together, build it up myself, based off the infrastructure of Our Lady of Means.
Yep.
But it's going to be that new color palette from pieces from the Screech Owl.
Love this.
Split Second's going to help out, and whoever else wants to jump in can. And, you know, if people want to throw a tracker in there in case anything happens to Dorian, feel free to.
So, does the book give suggestions in terms of the length of a long-term project?
Acquiring a vehicle, you can purchase a vehicle. The pilot must have a patron faction, cohort, or ally that can sell them one. Must spend material points equal to double the new vehicle's load plus the squad's tier.
Yep.
The player picks vehicle load. It doesn't really say anything about long-term projects, but I'd imagine an 8 would make sense if we're building it from scratch.
I think it would even be more than an 8, except that you have all these pieces, and you have Split Second, and you have a workshop, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is whatever the name of your new Avi is. Yeah?
Yeah?
Figure that out. But for now, is anybody helping? Sorry, real quick.
I would help.
Okay. So I think what this is going to be in montage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is Dorian going to Split Second with the pitch, Split Second being excited, Azara, coming by, helping out. You get scenes of y'all welding things in place, etc., etc. Give me a 4d6, Dorian.
That hurts.
Oh my God.
That fucking hurts.
That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
1, 2, 3, 3.
So
Can you use your rookie thingy to change it to a 4?
I can spend my spark, yeah.
Or spend material to bump it up. Can we do that?
That too.
You could also spend material to bump it up.
If y'all are cool with it, I am too.
Yeah, we gotta spend it. We can't keep this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take a material that's going to get it up to 2. I'm going to suggest let's just keep this train going.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take another personnel and give me that same roll again. This just comes down to how much resources it's going to take.
There we go.
Okay, so there's
2
a 5.
5s.
All right.
So that'll give you an additional 2 techs. And now I'm going to take another personnel, and you're going to do that again.
Another 5.
Yeah, okay. So hold on. Here, my suggestion would be to use your material to get that to a 6.
Yep.
Which would get that to 3 techs, which would get you to 7 out of 8.
All right.
And that would bring y'all down to 5. Well, hold on. So you're now 5 material, 5 personnel. I'm going to let you use your analyst tech on this.
Ooh.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because you're taking apart the Screech Owl.
Oh, that's clever.
And you recognize something. As Dorian does this, you were talking about some sort of sensor or bug to see what Dorian's up to?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Somebody else had the same idea.
Oh.
There's been some kind of, fob hidden deep inside this Avi, broadcasting your location.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
This is the rival move that I took last downtime.
This is what I wanted.
So now you know about that, and you finish out your Avi. We'll talk.
I have a feeling I know where Scramble was coming from.
Sure is a good thing. We're
What?
Yeah, not
What?
trying to murder
Me?
each other right
Setting
now.
up a scramble? No. So yeah, you got a new Avi. We'll talk about offline. What does that Avi actually look like? But in the meantime, we have 5 personnel, 5 material. You need to get down at least to 4 and 4 of each. Who else has downtime activities?
I would like to use a material.
Okay.
I want to fix up my Avi some more.
Oh,
I want to
sure.
bring that damage down.
Yeah, totally. That is going to be a material use. Is this in the same montage?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
then give
I
me a
think so. This is all in
4d6
the same
here.
montage. 46. That's a 5.
Yeah. So, do you want to spend another material to get to roll that again?
How do we feel? How does everybody else feel? I mean,
Yeah, go for
if
it.
everybody's cool with it, and yeah, all right.
Okay. Give me that. Roll one more again.
Come on,
There's
there we
the
go.
6.
There's a 6.
So you clear it, you get an extra tech. The waterlog goes down to level 1 damage damp.
That's good.
It sounded like Laren might have something.
Yeah, what does knocking on Antonia Pai's door look like? Would that be a schmooze? I know we're short on time.
No, you're good. You're good.
And I'm spawning another scene here, but
No, this is important
there's
stuff.
there's a limit to at what point just letting it linger just becomes foolishness.
I think this is working on a long-term project. I think this is working on your
Okay.
So Who's That Big Arm long-term project that I made for the squad.
Oh, sure, okay.
Because you know Antonia's, well, you, Alex, know
Yes.
that Antonia is also working on this, but Laren doesn't, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to have you roll me the consort before the scene.
Okay.
And then that's going to color what this scene looks like. Do you go alone or do you take somebody with you?
Oh, see, Azara is the one that's seen the arm firsthand, but Azara is also the other potential bomb.
Well, here, I'll tell you what. Memo's there, and Memo will help. So you can get
Sure.
to roll this as a 2d6.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Roll this as a 2d6. You knock on Antonia Pai's door. And let's see that this is really like the music as you're knocking on the door, right? There's the 6.
Whew, 1 and a 6. Thank God for the assist.
Yeah, Memo's gonna come and clutch this scene. You tell me when that happens. So you knock on the door, and Antonia, you hear after a moment, you hear, enter please.
Ma'am, I think I might have something of grave concern to report.
You can see that, like, the noises she was making is because she was very clearly covering up a wall with, like, a curtain that is now spread across it. She, like, settles herself back into her desk and says, "Oh, proceed."
There's something going on pretty much across the city with CalazCon. They're building something. some kind of pet project behind the scenes. I've had the team digging a little bit, and we've uncovered this. And I think he's just going to essentially show a picture of the giant arm.
God. And she takes a look at the giant arm, stone-faced, and then says, well, shit.
Yeah.
I really wish you'd come to me earlier with this, Laren.
That's entirely fair and understandable.
She stands up now and sort of like arms crossed behind her back. She takes a look out over the Avi Bay, the workshop that she can see from her office. And she says, who else knows?
The other pilots, I filled them in. I was going to also include it in a report for Red.
She can't stop the wince. Yes. She turns back around and paces so that she's now on the other side of the desk, so there's nothing in between the two of you. She takes her hands from behind her back, and she fiddles with a ring on one of her fingers. And she says, I worry, Laren, that Red will not see the danger that you and I see here.
Somehow I simultaneously want to ask you how that could even be possible, ma'am, at the exact same moment that I kind of agree.
She just nods. Let me be clear. I said that I wish that you had come to me sooner, but I could have done the same.
Oh.
Right now I have sent the Blue Sky Endowment to investigate the very supply depot that you have found that arm at. And now I'm thinking that rather than investigate, we should have them destroy it.
Nice.
Ooh. We do still have boots on the ground, ma'am. If we have to pull them back, I mean, I'll do it. It won't be pretty. There'll be traces back to us, but it's better than them getting caught in the crossfire, unless you want to make life real complicated for Blue Sky.
Let's take a lesson from this. Let's be open with your delivery team. Inform them of the risks, and let them make an informed decision. Having them as boots on the ground would improve Blue Sky Endowment's chances. But this way, we both win.
You want them to assist?
Exactly. Red can send us on his life's work, and as long as we can use the resources we have to still chase this thing, everybody wins.
Respectfully, ma'am, I understand our orders are going to be what they're going to be. Anything you can do to shield us, at least temporarily, from Red's life work, the better we can get this done. I am personally of the opinion that we can worry about our personal grudge match after we've dealt with the bigger threat.
I said I would be open, and I will. I suspect that not even Red can send us after Tempestia for this next job. I don't have the details. I don't have enough details to tell you what's going on. But there's rumors that this next mission is going to be determined by CalazCon more than the legislators.
I'm sorry, what?
Supplies are moving around in such a way that it seems that CalazCon, or at least CalazClash, they're involved too. And Jacob's Junkers, they're planning some event. A city-wide event. We don't think it's this arm, or whatever this is. Thank you, men. We think they're going to announce whatever this thing is. That's rumor, though. Take it with a grain of salt.
Well, the DFS is just going to go along with this? I mean, I know we like to use CalazCon as a bit of a means to an end, and knock it between ourselves and the Evangelians like it's a damn tennis ball, but sooner or later, if we want this city, we do have to kick them out.
Laren, that is above both of our pay grades. But this is known. This is known to the legislators, no more than it's known to either of us, more than I can tell you. Let's see what the orders come down like, and we'll make a decision based on that, okay?
Understood, ma'am.
Thank you, Captain, for your time and your initiative.
Of course, naturally, I will continue to keep my eyes and ears out, and when we're not officially out on a mission, I'll still be working to see if we can bring this to a heel.
I appreciate it. Before you go, what do you know about Jovangelian media?
Well, I've been a little bit buried in this project. I can't say that I've been watching too much television lately.
It's interesting. For a while there, we were the talk of the town, if you can believe it. Zero accountability, back from the dead, attacking their hero Tempestia's base. True, of course. And then suddenly we're off the airwaves. We're old news. It's a bit sudden.
I agree, it is a bit of a pointed shift.
Well, tell you what, Laren. Keep an eye out for that, too. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Dismissed.
All right, and he'll head out.
Phenomenal. I needed to somehow make sure that Antonia still was going to give you a -1D on your engagement roll. You couldn't be completely, all worked out together by the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
We are now sitting at 4 personnel and 3 materiel. So we could end here.
More long-term projects.
Do we want to fix Topo's mech? Do we have the resources?
Oh, yeah.
We do. We definitely have the resources to fix Topo.
We should definitely do that.
Let's take a shot at that then.
Okay. Topo joins in at the very last part of the montage.
Yeah, the montage is intercut with scenes of Laren talking to Antonia.
Yeah.
I mean, we are overlooking the Bay.
That's true. Yeah, that's literally
right.
We have established this.
Oh, fuck. That's very cool. I do
that is
want,
really good.
I do think it'd be nice if, the very last reaction is a scene of Dorian holding up the tracker and then looks at the window as y'all are talking.
Yeah, no, there's also the wild moment of Laren walking out the room and then Antonia turning around and having the opportunity to look down at the Bay where all 3 other pilots are and going, which one of these fuckers is it?
Who's the mole?
Dorian holding the evidence.
Jesus Christ, you were also in the truck, Dorian!
It can't be him, he's too obvious.
Dorian's gonna get himself disappeared and he didn't even deserve it.
God.
Oh my god.
There's 2 endings for Dorian. Let's move on.
Give me a 4d6 Topo, please. Let's get this fixed out of the way here.
There we go.
Okay, that's all you needed.
There's
You just needed 2 more. So you go from waterlogged to damp as well.
Damn.
Nobody likes it. It's uncomfortable, but it's perfectly doable.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, that is leaving us here with 2 materiel, 4 personnel. Are we good to go? Is there any last minute on recording stuff that we want to do?
More long-term projects.
Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited and sound balanced by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at cvblight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find them on all social media at Devin Decibel. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.